This episode of The Young Turks is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook at audiblepodcast.com/TYT. Go.
Newt Gingrich was talking about taxes, and Jr. This is kind of a long clip, but I think it's interesting to hear. You know, as we segue into a presidential campaign, we should hear what some of these people are saying. And if you don't think there's a difference between the Republicans and the Democrats when it comes to taxes and caring about the working person and putting working people back to work in the right way, listen to what Newt Gingrich, who wants to become president, is having to say about taxes.
There have been a lot of complaints from the left and right about corporations not paying their fair share in taxes. And for instance, Arch Coal in 2009 made $42 million but paid nothing in corporate income tax. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts are I'm opposed to tax increases. I think I want to create more jobs in America, not fewer.
But they're not paying anything right now in corporate income tax.
But you don't know why they're not. Did they buy new equipment? Did they do things that actually create jobs? I can't give you an answer for any one company.
But in general, corporations who are making millions and millions in profit, but not contributing anything to the United States government, do you think that's fair?
Millions and millions in profit, they probably employ thousands and thousands of people, and those thousands and thousands of people are contributing a lot to America. So I am for the maximum job creation in the United States, and I think that means lower taxes, not higher taxes. It means less regulation, not more regulation.
But you don't think we should have to? We don't think we should try to be forcing them to pay what they're owed.
First of all, they're not owed it. If what they did was legal, and if it was designed to create more jobs by, for example, if he gave you 100% write-off for new equipment so you could compete with China, and you used that 100% write-off, you actually did what we wanted you to do in order to, if you're Intel and you build a new multi-billion-dollar chip factory in the U.S. instead of building it in Korea, that changes your tax status. So I think you have to look at why. You have to go ask Arch what is it they did right in order to lower their tax liability, and did it create jobs in America?
Would you like to see those corporate tax loopholes closed, though?
I don't know that they're loopholes.
I think I got your question.
I'm not saying that's one more thing. No, I just want to say this because I think it's an important difference in how we approach this.
Yeah, please.
If we give you an incentive to do something right that creates more jobs, that is not a loophole. That's an incentive. If you then intelligently follow that incentive and create more jobs, we should celebrate that as a good thing.
All right, yeah, so we're listening to Newt Gingrich say this. We'll very quickly talk about it. This is the difference between the way a Republican, what he's trying to say is a mainstream Republican candidate for the United States presidency views the tax structure and the working American versus the way what we think are proper thinking Americans view it. I'm not saying that he's crazy. He knows his stuff. Newt Gingrich is a very smart guy, which makes him a little scary sometimes, but he's a very smart guy. But what he's saying that they must be employing thousands and thousands of people if they're making millions of dollars. We all know that's not the case because companies that are making millions upon millions upon millions of dollars have been cutting their payrolls. That is one of the ways in which they are making a lot of money. And if they're incented to buy, Intel's incented to make their chips here. Yes, it's great to have their chips made in America instead of going to Korea to have them made. But the point that we're trying to make here is that they should be incentivized to do it because they're going to be creating jobs here. There's nothing altruistic about the way they do it. It's all about saving money. And when Gingrich is saying they should be paying lower taxes, they're not paying any, according to this interviewer. And I, too, don't know anything about Arch Coal. But the interviewer is seeming to say with factual certainty that Arch Coal pays nothing in taxes. And if they're paying nothing in taxes, and Gingrich is saying, but they're employing so many people. They're employing so many people who are paying so much in taxes. That is not a fair shake. And Gingrich and the Republicans have to be made to answer for this, but the Democrats are just as responsible for showing this glaring difference between the two parties when it comes to taxes and when it comes to working, when it comes to jobs. The incentive for creating jobs on the Republican side is to avoid taxes, if you listen to what Gingrich is saying here. Well, the incentive of creating jobs from the Democratic side is to create jobs. And that's a real difference. And these companies that Gingrich is saying are employing thousands and thousands of people, they're doing it. If they're in fact employing that, they could be employing tens of thousands, because they're trying to cut their payrolls, they're trying to cut their benefits, they're trying to cut out manpower. And that's one of the problems that has happened. That's why this offshore and this move offshore with so many of the manufacturing jobs has happened, because it's cheaper. You don't have to pay the same thing here. And I think that is a very, again, glaring fault of the Republican Party that needs to be illuminated by Democrats and by the president when he's running for re-election.
If you don't feel like reading a book and you want to listen to it, all you got to do is go to audible.com and you can download a book onto your iPod or MP3 player. In fact, just the other day, I was listening to 1984, my favorite book. And they have over 75,000 titles to choose from. So you can get a free audiobook if you go to audiblepodcast.com/TYT.